increasingly around the world. What has happened? The diaspora of immensely talented journalists who have nowhere to work have started their own news organizations. They've taken a page from A.J. Lieberman, who said, the only free press is the one you own. Well, if you can't own it, why don't you just start a nonprofit? That's sort of what's happening. And so, since 2005 in the United States, 180 foundations, 180 foundations, have spent $128 million on new journalism and information initiatives. 66 million of that is for investigative reporting. And I know personally of 10 new nonprofits that have been created to do investigative reporting throughout the United States just in the last 3 years. That's all really interesting. What's particularly interesting for me and for American University and for the investigative reporting workshop, which I'll come to, should probably be a good time to do that, is in 2008, the university approved the proposal that Wendell Cochran and I brought to create an investigative reporting workshop to do investigative reporting, national and international investigative reporting with major media outlets in the U.S. and around the world. Very similar in some ways to what I had already done at the center. And so fun, but I've been there a little bit. And then the other part of the workshop, we have an investigative laboratory. We call it the iLab. None of us wear white coats, but we just call it that. And the idea is to find new models to create new organizations and structures to do investigative reporting, to enlarge the space so that more people can do investigative reporting and more people can hold the bastards accountable, whoever they are, wherever they are. And so the idea is to enlarge, enlarge, enlarge. So we have, we're involved up to our neck in two very, very interesting new initiatives. In March, April, I put forward an idea called the WIRE, World Investigative Reporting Enterprises, acronym WIRE, to do investigative reporting using social network analysis. All investigative reporting in the world breaks down by subject area, the environment, human rights, health. Well, these are huge social networks. Investigative reporters have never actually thought about this, what I just said, and it's never been marketed that way to social networks. This is sort of what I would call 3.0 in terms of dissemination, in terms of business models, in terms of eyeballs on the web. And so we've gotten some funding to explore the WIRE and to create either a for-profit, non-profit, or a hybrid. There's a new hybrid L3C corporation that is a for-profit, non-profit corporation, which I'm happy to talk about. So we are developing this idea. It would be an international investigative reporting news service with a preeminent investigative journalist on planet Earth, but organized not only by country, but by their specialty subject area, so that you would have the best investigative reporting on any subject in the world in the last, say, month, 3 months, 6 months, a year. Today, Google can't do that because we're not talking about algorithms here. And so that's one idea. The other idea, which is much more current and in your face, and you may have read about it, these new entities I mentioned in the last few months have all started talking to each other. And the new ones talk to the old ones. I would be one of the old ones. The last 2 days of June and the first day of July, 20 nonprofit news publishers who do investigative reporting met at John D. Rockefeller's estate. Some of you may recall that John D. Rockefeller was laid out by Ida Tarbell. His company was broken open in an antitrust action in 1911 because of an investigative story, the history of Standard Oil by Ida Tarbell. So that we have muckrakers gathering on his estate, which is now historic preservation type federal land. It was kind of bizarre. Anyway, kind of cool. But the groups issued a Pocantico, the name of the place is the Pocantico Conference Center, Pocantico Declaration, and the 20 groups, including the Investigative Reporting Workshop, said that we will create an investigative news network. The Investigative News Network will be a national and international group of the most respected nonprofit news There are now 20. By December, there will probably be 50 to 100, and it'll keep growing. And it'll be an amalgam of secondary reprint site that'll be constantly curated and updated hourly or certainly daily a few times. There is no place like that in the world for an anthologized version of the best investigative reporting. So that Investigative News Network, I wrote the declaration. As a matter of fact, I came up with a name and I reserved the URL. And it looks like we will lead this for at least the first 6 to 9 months as an interim leadership role that the workshop will play, which is kind of amazing and a little scary, since I'm supposed to do a few other things here.